A German shepherd ran 5 miles, paws bleeding, tongue purple with exhaustion. He didn't stop until he found the bar. Iron Brotherhood MC, 23, Hell's Angels having dinner. The dog stumbled inside, collapsed on the floor, shaking. Big Wolf stood up. Anyone know this dog? Nobody did, but there was something on his collar, a small metal tag, scratched, smeared with fresh blood. Wolf wiped it clean. Read the name. His face went white. Call everyone. Now. 200 bikers arrived in 45 minutes from 7 different states. Because that name on the tag, it belonged to one of them, a brother, who had vanished 3 years ago. Big Wolf Gerald, Big Wolf Thompson, 54, president of the Iron Brotherhood MC's Pennsylvania chapter, held the tag with shaking hands. Engraved on the metal, partially covered in dried blood, shadow property of Marcus Ghost, Rivera Iron Brotherhood Massey, Philadelphia if found. Call 215-555-8847. Absolute silence fell over the 23 bikers. Marcus Rivera, Ghost. Everyone knew that name. Marcus was 38 when he vanished on July 14, 2021. A 12-year member of the Iron Brotherhood, Marine veteran, 2 tours in Afghanistan, decorated, respected brother. He lived in Philadelphia, a bike mechanic, specialized in vintage Harleys. He owned his own shop, Ghost Custom Motorcycles. Made good money, $78,000 a year. Marcus was a loner but loyal. He had no family, parents dead, no siblings. The club was his life. And Shadow, his 2-year-old German shepherd, was his constant companion. Marcus and Shadow were inseparable. The dog went to the shop with him every day, slept in the corner while Marcus worked. The customers loved Shadow. Then Marcus disappeared. July 14, 2021, a Thursday. Marcus closed the shop at 6 p.m. just like always, put Shadow in his 2008 Ford F-150 pickup, drove home. He never made it. The pickup was found abandoned 3 days later in a deserted industrial area of Camden, New Jersey, 30 miles from Philadelphia. Engine off, keys in the ignition, driver's side door open. No Marcus, no Shadow, no sign of a struggle, no blood. As if they had simply evaporated. Police investigated, classified it as missing person, suspicious circumstances. But with no evidence, no body, the investigation went cold in 6 weeks. The Iron Brotherhood didn't give up. They searched for 8 months, handed out 4,000 flyers, offered a $25,000 reward, pressured the police, hired a private investigator. Nothing. Marcus Ghost Rivera had become a real ghost. And now, 3 years and 2 months later, on September the 23rd, 2024, his dog had shown up, bleeding, exhausted, alone, but alive. Raymond Doc Patterson, 56-year-old former Navy combat medic, the club's vice president, was already examining Shadow. Severe malnutrition, Doc murmured. Lost at least 25 pounds. Paws are shredded ran on hot asphalt for miles. Broken ribs, poorly healed. This happened weeks ago. Multiple old scars, dog bites, cigarette burns on his muzzle. He looked up at Big Wolf, his eyes hard. This dog was tortured systematically for months, maybe years. Tank Marcus Tank Rodriguez, 48. The sergeant-at-arms knelt beside Shadow. He ran 5 miles to find us, Tank said, his voice hoarse. How did he know where we were? Instinct, Doc answered. Military dogs, working dogs. K9s, they remember. Shadow knew the Iron Brotherhood. He knew our colors, our smell. When he got free, he looked for allies. Big Wolf was already on the phone. First call. Jake Bulldog Stevens, president of the Iron Brotherhood's New Jersey chapter. Bulldog, it's Wolf. Shadow's here. Ghost's dog. He's alive. We need everyone, now. Second call, Vincent Reaper. Mackenzie, president of the New York chapter. Third call, Thomas Hammer O'Brien, president of the Maryland chapter. 4th, 5th, 6th calls. In 12 minutes, Big Wolf contacted the presidents of 18 different Iron Brotherhood MC chapters across 7 states: Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Maryland, Delaware, Ohio, and West Virginia. The message was identical. Shadow is alive. Ghost might be alive. Full mobilization. Wolf's Bar in Scranton, 45 minutes. Not one president hesitated. On my way. Mobilizing. Rolling out. They would all come. Because when a brother goes missing, you don't stop looking. Ever. If you believe loyalty means never giving up on a brother, subscribe to this channel now. Share this story. Show that some bonds never break. Because what happened over the next 6 hours was the largest civilian biker coordinated rescue in United States history. While they waited, Doc treated Shadow. Water. Light food. A starving dog can't eat too much at once. Bandages on his paws. Antibiotics from Doc's first aid kit in his truck. Shadow drank 2 liters of water, ate a pound of raw ground beef the bar owner provided. Then he slept. Exhausted, but finally safe. Jake Tech Morrison, the club's 42-year-old tech expert and a former Army intelligence analyst, was already at work. He scanned Shadow's tag with portable forensic equipment. He found something invisible to the naked eye. Microfibers, specific mud, pollen. This mud has a unique composition, Tech explained, analyzing it on his laptop. High red clay content, only found in 3 counties in Pennsylvania, Schuylkill, Columbia, and Luzerne. He analyzed the pollen stuck to the collar. Eastern white pine, red oak, Canadian hemlock. This combination indicates dense forest, altitude between 1,300 and 1,900 feet. Tech pulled up a topographic map. Cross-referencing the data, mud plus vegetation plus altitude plus the distance Shadow ran, the search area is reduced to 35 square miles, right here, he pointed. A rural mountainous region between Scranton and Hazleton. Dense forest, isolated properties, perfect for hiding someone. At 8:47 p.m., a collective roar of engines announced their arrival. 197 Harley-Davidson motorcycles from different Iron Brotherhood MC chapters rode into Scranton in a convoy, perfect military formation. Lights blazing, patches shining, they parked in organized rows, cut their engines simultaneously. 197 veterans dismounted, ages 32 to 71, wars from Vietnam to Afghanistan, united by a code, brotherhood above all. Big Wolf stood on the bed of a pickup truck. Brothers, his voice echoed. Ghost vanished 3 years ago. We thought he was dead. But Shadow is alive. Tortured. He escaped. He ran 5 miles to find us. He held up Shadow's tag. He brought us a message. Ghost might be alive. He might be trapped. Hurting. Waiting. A heavy silence. Tech has triangulated a possible location. 35 square miles. Mountainous region. We're splitting into 12 teams. We cover everything. Tonight. He looked out at the 197 men. We find Ghost, or we find who took him. We are not coming back without answers. Brother! 197 voices yelled in unison. 12 teams of 16-17 bikers each were formed. Tech distributed GPS coordinates to each team. Printed maps, radios, binoculars, thermal imaging cameras borrowed from a member who worked in search and rescue. The rules were clear. Look for isolated properties, signs of recent activity in abandoned structures. Anything suspicious, report it. Don't go in alone. Maintain comms every 15 minutes. Police are on standby, but we only call when we're sure. At 9:30 p.m., the 12 teams rolled out. For 3 hours, they scoured the mountains. 197 bikers with flashlights, checking every trail. Every isolated property, every abandoned barn. They found 4 properties with illegal marijuana grow-ops, noted to report later. 2 chop shop operations for stolen cars, noted. 1 abandoned meth lab, evacuated quickly, dangerous. But no sign of Ghost. No sign of where Shadow had come from. Until 12:42 a.m., Team 7, led by Vincent Reaper McKenzie, found something, an isolated property, 15 acres. Old house, 3 barns, surrounded by dense forest. No neighbors for 2 miles, and obvious signs of life. Lights on in 1 barn, cars parked, 11 vehicles. The sound of voices, shouting, Dogs barking. Reaper halted the team 500 yards out. Used the thermal binoculars. 23 human heat signatures in the main barn. Movement, activity, and something else. An arena-like structure in the center of the barn, surrounded by people. The setup for an illegal dogfighting ring. Reaper grabbed his radio. "Wolf, it's Reaper. We've got something." Coordinates 41-2847N 759234W. Property with 23 individuals. Active dogfighting ring. This could be where Shadow escaped from. A pause, then Big Wolf's voice. "All teams, converge on Team 7. Silent approach. Do not alert the occupants. We'll be there in 18 minutes. At 1:15 a.m., 197 motorcycles were positioned in a complete circle around the property, every exit blocked, lights off, engines off. Absolute silence. Big Wolf, Doc, Tank, Reaper, Tech, and 5 other leaders approached on foot. They got close to the barn, peered through the cracks in the wood. What they saw made their blood run cold. A makeshift arena, 25 feet across, surrounded by wooden bleachers, 23 spectators screaming, drinking, betting. In the center of the ring, 2 pit bulls fighting to the death. Blood on the floor, 1 dog already near death, and in the cages surrounding them, 17 more dogs. Pit bulls, German shepherds, Rottweilers, all scarred, some barely able to stand. But what made Big Wolf stop breathing was what he saw in the corner. A larger cage, isolated, locked with a padlock. Inside, a man, 40-something, thin, bearded, filthy, in chains. A tattoo visible on his left arm, even through the grime, a winged skull with USMC underneath. Marines. "Ghost," Big Wolf whispered. Tank confirmed with the thermal binoculars. "It's him, alive. Chained up like an animal." Doc saw more. "He's injured, limping, likely malnourished, but conscious." Reaper identified the property owner, a man in his 50s, overweight, running the fight. Derek Walsh Tech had run the license plates on the vehicles and crossed them with property records. "We have to get Ghost out of there," Tank said. "Now." "We can't just breach," Big Wolf answered. 23 against 5 of us. They're probably armed. Ghost could get hurt in the crossfire." "So what do we do?" Doc asked. Big Wolf smiled. No humor, just cold determination. "We show them what happens when they mess with a brother." He picked up his radio. "All teams, full perimeter. On my signal, you start your engines. All of you, simultaneously, full throttle. High beams, emergency flashers, sirens if you have them. We make the loudest noise 197 Harleys can possibly make." A pause, and then we go in, together. At 1:28 a.m., Big Wolf gave the signal. 197 motorcycles roared to life at the exact same time. The sound was deafening. 197 Harley-Davidson engines at full throttle sound like apocalyptic thunder. 187 high beams flashed on, illuminating the barn from every angle. Inside, instant panic. Screams. People running. "What is that?" "Cops! Run!" Big Wolf and 40 other bikers flooded in through the main door. Another 40 through the side door. Another 40 through the back. 77 remained on the outer perimeter. Nobody was getting out. "Nobody moves!" Big Wolf shouted, his voice amplified by a PA system Tech had rigged. The 23 dogfighting spectators froze. Some tried to run. They were blocked by massive bikers in leather cuts. Derek Walsh tried to grab a gun from under a table. Tank crossed the distance in 3 steps, disarmed him with a precise military move, threw Derek to the ground. "Stay down," Tank said calmly, "or you won't be getting up at all." Derek stayed down. Doc and Reaper ran to Ghost's cage. "Ghost!" Doc yelled. "Marcus, it's us!" Ghost looked up. His eyes, vacant from 3 years of trauma, suddenly focused, recognized them. "Doc?" His voice was a hoarse, broken rasp. You came?" "We always come," Reaper answered, using a crowbar to snap the padlock. "We never stopped looking." The cage open, Doc rushed inside. Triaged Ghost's injuries, severe malnutrition, dehydration, multiple old poorly healed fractures, infections, severe psychological trauma, but alive. Shadow, Ghost murmured. My dog. He got out. I told him to run, to find you. He found us, Doc said, tears streaming down his face. He ran 5 miles, straight to us. He led us right to you. Ghost began to sob. 3 years of horror. 3 years believing he would die there. 3 years alone, until he wasn't. Tank and 4 other bikers gently carried Ghost out. An ambulance was already on its way. Tech had called 5 minutes earlier. The police arrived 8 minutes later. 12 squad cars, the FBI, 2 interstate dogfighting is a federal crime. Derek Walsh and his 22 spectators were arrested, 17 dogs were rescued, and Marcus Ghost Rivera, after 167 days in captivity, was free. The investigation revealed the full story. Derek Walsh had kidnapped Ghost on July 14, 2021. An ambush on the road. Ghost had stopped to help with a fake accident. He was attacked, knocked out, and taken. Why? Revenge. Derek was the brother of Kevin Walsh, an Iron Brotherhood member, who was kicked out in 2018 for stealing from his brothers. Ghost had been one of the members who voted to expel him. Kevin killed himself 6 months later. Derek blamed the club. He blamed Ghost. So Derek kidnapped Ghost. He planned to torture him to death. But he realized he could profit more by keeping Ghost alive, forcing him to train the dogs for the fights. For 3 years, Ghost lived in a cage, forced to feed the dogs, clean the arena, watch the horror. Shadow, his German shepherd, was also imprisoned. Used as a bait dog, a training tool for the pit bulls to learn how to kill. But Shadow was smart. He watched, he waited. On September 22, 2024, during a particularly chaotic fight, he escaped through a door left open. And he ran. 5 miles, paws bleeding, exhausted, to save his owner. Derek Walsh was sentenced to 47 years in federal prison. Ghost spent 6 months in physical and psychological recovery. He gained 40 pounds, had his fractures treated, therapy for PTSD. Shadow recovered too, surgery on his paws, physical therapy. He became a happy dog again. Ghost and Shadow were reunited in March 2025. The embrace between man and dog lasted 8 minutes. Both of them cried. In May 2025, a special ceremony was held. 340 bikers attended. Ghost was officially reinstated into the Iron Brotherhood. Shadow received an honorary medal, Hero of the Year, Iron Brotherhood MC. And Big Wolf made a statement that became legendary. A dog ran 5 miles, bleeding, to save his owner. He mobilized 200 veterans from 7 states. He exposed a 3-year-long criminal operation. And he brought a brother back from the dead. He looked at Shadow. Some heroes wear leather patches, others have 4 paws. But they all understand. You never leave anyone behind. Because loyalty has no limits. Brotherhood has no borders. And sometimes the biggest rescue operation starts with one bleeding dog who refuses to give up.